In this short session, we will take a look at how you can use artificial intelligence, AI, why it is so important for us to be able to use AI with our digital complex products. We will revisit the 3 basic claims. First, that you're a digital product modeling company. The second, that you need AI. And we will end by the final and third claim, that you need a strategy for your digital product DNA. Today we will take some practical examples to highlight how AI is important for us, and the riddle of Einstein, even though I don't think he's really been dealing out this riddle, will be the example we will be using today. Knowingly or not, we model our digital product DNA in all parts of the product lifecycle to help our products meet requirements in both early and late configuration. The complexity of configurable products poses a risk both to the buyer and the vendor, but also comes with the joy and possibilities of choice. And that's exactly why we need artificial intelligence. We want the joy of choice without the hassle of complexity. So let's take a deeper look at the second of our 3 claims by trying to solve Einstein's riddle and figure out who owns the fish. And the riddle goes like this. There are 5 houses in a street, each with a different color. The owner of each house has a different nationality, and they drive a different brand of car. They also prefer different types of drinks: water, coffee, beer, tea, or milk. And they have different pets: a bird, a cat, a dog, a horse, and finally, a fish. We also have to remember that the houses can have different positions. Number 1 is first, number 5 is last, and 3 is the middle position. Different colors, nationalities, cars, pets, and position doesn't sound complex, but the number of possible combinations is truly huge. It's 931 sextillions. That is in the same order of magnitude as we believe we have grains of sand on Earth. Each house has 6 variables, and each with 5 different values, so that alone gives us 5 to the power of 6 different combinations. And we then have 5 houses, so we have to raise this again to the number of 5. And in that way, it's really quite easy to get to a ridiculously large number, like 931 sextillions. You can argue that a lot of these combinations are clearly bogus. For instance, they include examples where all the houses have the same color, owner, pet, car, favorite drink, and even the same house number. But now we start using Einstein's hints. In the terminology of artificial intelligence, we say that we add knowledge or facts to our AI knowledge base. You can also think of them as rules or constraints because they constrain the number of possible combinations that obey all the rules. We use the AI tool configurable model. This tool allows us to build a product structure, as we can see here, where we have created an Einstein riddle model with 5 houses. Each house has 6 variables representing car, color, drinks, nationality, pets, and the position of the house. We haven't added any rules yet, but we can always ask the AI to deduce all possible solutions by compiling the solution space. As you can see, it obediently reports the 931 sextillion possible solutions. But let's give the AI some knowledge to play with. The first piece of knowledge is that houses must have different numbers, colors, owners, pets, favorite drinks, and cars. And we have to spell this out in logic for the AI. In this case, we add 6 rules, each excluding invalid combinations of position, color, cars, pets, nationalities, and drinks. So let me just activate all of these rules for the AI and ask it to compile the new solution space. That really helped. We're now down to about 3 trillion, equivalent to the total number of stars in the entire Andromeda galaxy. But let's move on to the first of Einstein's hints. The Brit lives in the red house, the Swede keeps a dog, and the Dane drinks tea, while the German drives a BMW. We explain this to the AI by this rule. When we activate the rule and ask for the new solution space, we are now down to just under 5 billion solutions. Einstein's second hint explains that the owner of the greenhouse drinks coffee and the person who rears birds drives an Audi, and the owner of the yellow house drives a Kia. And the AI then tells me that we're now down to just 33 million possible combinations. Einstein's final hints will take us to the solution. He now informs us that A, the greenhouse is next to and to the right of the White House. The AI then tells us that we are down to just 6 million solutions. The man in the center house drinks milk and the American lives in the first house. This takes us down to 119,000 solutions. The Volkswagen is parked next to the cat and the horse is next to the Kia. We're further down to 19,000 solutions. And finally, the fact that the man who drinks water is neighbor to the Volkswagen and that the American lives next to the blue house and the Ford driver drinks beer takes us all the way down to just 120 solutions. It's necessary to explain these rules to the AI in a language that it understands. Let me give you some examples. The rule that the greenhouse is to the right of but next to the White House can be expressed quite simple graphically. But the AI needs to be told in details. That the man in the center drinks milk can be illustrated graphically like this and has to be explained to the AI like this. It's easy to explain the AI that the American must live in the first house, but a little more complicated to explain the neighbor relation between the cat and the Volkswagen. But we are there. No more hints. So who owns the fish? Take a look at all of the hints. I'll ask the AI who owns the fish, but if you want to figure this out on your own, pause this video and see if you can find the owner of the fish yourself. Stop the video now if you want to try yourself. So AI, who owns the fish? It's said that only 2% eventually figures this out on their own, but we just asked the AI. We activate the last rule, ask the AI to find the solution space, and there are 120 possible solutions. Let's start an app to quiz the AI. We pick the first house, and all options are open for nationality, cars, pets, drinks, etc. But if we pick fish as pet, then the answer is revealed. There is only one option as owner of the fish. It's the German, who by the way also drives a BMW, drinks coffee, and lives in the last house, which has been painted green. If we look at another house, we see that we can pick any occupant but the German. Choosing the American, all other options are automatically deduced by the AI. We can now place the Swede in the next house and the Dane in the fourth house. The AI then explains that the last house is the red middle house occupied by the Brit, who drinks milk, rears birds, and drives an Audi. But the Einstein riddle is not just a puzzle. Replace house numbers and cars with positions in a rack, different types of rack equipment. Nationalities could be equipment brands, pets could be communication protocols, and drinks could be power requirements and so forth. No matter what product, or if it is early or late configuration, we face at least the complexity of the Einstein riddle. This gives a kind of combinatorial complexity that humans hate. So we need help to make sure that we make everything, take everything into account and don't make mistakes. And that is why we need to use artificial intelligence. This also means that we have to be smart about using artificial intelligence. It matters what type of AI you use, and even more so, how you enable your company to create and maintain the product models. Before you start using an AI, you need to have a strategy and a platform in place. You need to be able to explain and maintain knowledge in ways that make sense for different employees, so they don't have to learn to talk native AI, and so that they can collaborate Thinking blindly in terms of the AI tool at hand, using human translators between the domain experts and the AI, is a typical bottleneck that we see today. And that's why we focus on new types of skills and platforms and strategies that are required in order to support your digital product DNA. Thank you for your time. You will find more information about typical pitfalls and our suggested best practices for your digital product DNA and your strategy on our webpage.